What is up, guys? Jace here with a GFX tutorial, and basically what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do is recreate the background you see here. Now, this background is quite simple. The only program you're going to need is going to be Photoshop. So to start it off, you're going to want to have the template that will be available for download in the description, and that's going to be this one. It should have the ruling already, but let me just go ahead and get rid of all of the things we have. Now, whoops, didn't want to get this back. What you'll have is just this right here, okay? And from here, you're going to want to go ahead and draw a box from this corner all the way down to here. And you want to make a new layer and just paint bucket fill the area that you have selected. You can go ahead and deselect by hitting Control D or going to your selection tool and just clicking anywhere that's not in the area. Then you want to go ahead and double click on the layer that you have just created and add a drop shadow and a pattern overlay. Now, the patterns that I'm using are available for download as well. They're just easy grid pattern. This background is actually going to be a bluish tint, so I mean it's gonna be a decent looking color. Then what you want to have is a new layer. You want to click on the fade layer, make a new layer again, and you want to grab your paint bucket tool and just paint bucket over the entire project. Whoops. Next thing you want to do is you want to grab or double click your new layer, go to a pattern overlay for this as well, and select a different gradient grid pattern. And we're going to take our paint bucket tool and change our colors to the original, which is black and white. Then we're going to change the opacity on our gradient slash tool object thing, and we're going to go ahead and change it to 20. Now this will make the pattern visible and the basic background color visible as well. Next step you want to take is to get your selection tool and just drag out over your project a thin bar. Now it doesn't have to be too thin. Make sure you're on your rectangular selection tool, and you want to click on the layer you just made and create another new layer. Then you can just paint bucket this in. I'm going to be paint bucketing white, and you can deselect. Then you want to double click on this layer, add a drop shadow, and click OK. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your movement tool, check the show transform tools, and you just want to rotate it to any angle that you find suitable. You want to put it up in the corner and just drag it out like you see here. Hit enter to apply the transformation. Right click on the layer you just made. Oop, do not delete it. Duplicate the layer you just made. And click OK. Then you just want to drag it down, straight down, so that it's looks more like a racing stripe. Then you can merge these two layers by holding shift and clicking on both of them, right clicking on them and clicking merge layers. You want to change the opacity down to right around like 35%. Then you want to double click on this merged layer, get a pattern overlay, change the opacity to right around 15%. I'm gonna go to. Which we'll actually do 20 for this as well, which will make a nice pattern on that also. You want to grab your text tool, go ahead and drag out some text, and type in whatever you want. Now it's actually going to be the background that I'm going to use for my channel. This is going to be by Jace. Just like that. Change the font to what you find suitable. I'm going to do 72 points so it doesn't get too big. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter and double click on my layer. Actually, I already have a layer style saved, so whatever layer style you want, go ahead and do that. So now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and rotate it. This is also done by having the transform tools on the movement tool. Just going to rotate it as best as I can. You can actually go up here and type in -90. That'll give you a perfect rotation. And we can apply the transformation. And then we're just going to use our arrow keys to line it up as best as we can with our template. Hit enter. And that's pretty much it. Now, also an optional function is that you can get a splatter brush of some kind, make a new layer over the bar layer that we've just created, and just click wherever you want the splatter to be. Then select your layer and change the opacity down as best as you want. I'm going to go ahead and go to around 50%. And there you have it. That's just added a nice paint splatter decal to our template. You can also go through and add much more brushes, optical flares, anything you really want. I'm actually going to open up my GFX pack that I have. And it was just supplied to me by Vive GFX. I believe that's how you say his name. Just going to open up a flare, move it into here. And if you have a flare, this is just a quick thing. You want to change it to overlay, I believe, and position it to where you want. Or at least this is how I do it. Position it to where you want. Grab your eraser tool and make it hardness 0%. Change the erase up to a decent amount. I have a 400 pixel. Select the layer that you have, and what you want to do is erase pretty much around the flare itself. You want it to make it look natural as you can. And I'm actually going to put it underneath my text layer and underneath my background layer. I'm going to position it almost like a rising sun. That's the word I'm looking for, behind my text. And there you have it. Thanks for watching this background tutorial by Jace, and I'll see you guys later.